everybody, my name is Sarah K. Regley and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be learning about areas of education that are self-taught. So much of life is just learning from experience, and it's learning from seeking your own knowledge. Education is something that's always in process, and there are many areas of life that school will absolutely not teach you anything about. Today we're going to jump into some topics about things that are always in process, always evolving, and things you will always have to be teaching yourself about. So without further ado, let's jump into it. So topic number one is physical well-being. The days of PE are behind us, and we have to be actively learning how to take care of ourselves. And what this will look like in different phases of your life will change over time. You have to reinvestigate what steps you have to do to take care of your current body. What your body is capable of doing when you are 20 will be very different than when you're 30, 40, 50, etc. It's worth noting that companies oftentimes make a lot of money based off of people hating themselves, hating their bodies, hating what they look like, hating their skin, their hair, and that they will market to you that there is an unrealistic expectation of what that should look like. And may I note also an evolving expectation that changes depending on the time and place that you're born. And I'm here to tell you that's dumb. Learning how to love the body that God gave you and that kind of beauty, and celebrating that and learning how to take care of that is a much more worthy goal than trying to become somebody that you're not. And if people don't love you the way that you are, and they don't see that you're trying to become the best version of yourselves, then that person isn't for you. Subject number two is romantic relationships. Now this one always gets me so hard because out of all of the most important choices that you make, we get zero guidance as to romantic relationships. We are only left with the leftovers of whatever our parents gave us and what we see on media. Now, if you've been around the block for a little bit, you know what's on media is fake. And I don't know what your parents have, but your parents only have one kind of relationship. Whether it be good or bad, they're not you. It's important that we educate ourselves and recognize what those relationships might be may not be what I want, but we often don't have the steps to get what you want. Or if you see the steps, you're afraid to take those steps because of brokenness that you have experienced in your past. You might be someone who grew up in an idealistic view of what a relationship can be, and you bought into the fairy tale, and maybe you had parents who were attached at the hip, who held hands, have been married forever, and they're just so cute, and you're looking at what's wrong with you because you're 29 and you've never had that kind of relationship, and you're saying, what's wrong with me? I didn't get that romance. Or maybe you're on the complete other end of the spectrum where the only marriage that you've ever seen is divorce, and you've never experienced the beauty of the vase because you've only ever seen the broken pieces of when it toppled over. So your really cynical view of relationships and what it could be can lead you to make choices that you never know how to have a good relationship because you've never seen a good relationship, so you can't build and have a good relationship because you don't know the steps, or you're afraid even to take them if you do. I say this as an ongoing experience because people often look at, I want a girlfriend, I want a boyfriend, I want a husband, I want a wife, and as soon as they get that thing, they see that they're signed, sealed, delivered, I'm good. It becomes a static relationship. They don't learn how to continue to pursue someone even after they have the relationship, even after they're married. They don't have a nature of pursuing because no one ever taught them. And oftentimes, if you don't develop that nature of pursuing that continual growing love and understanding of this person in front of you who's changing every single day, you will suddenly have a moment in life where you realize you don't know them anymore because you stopped pursuing them. It's really important you find guidance from people who have the kind of relationship that you want. If you want to be married, say you want to be married, and go find happily married people who've been married and know how to be married so you can learn from them. Like, as young adults, we often go to our dumb friends asking for advice from other people who've had bad experiences with relationships too. And while I don't expect anybody to have this figured out, and all of us have probably kissed some frogs along the way and made a lot of mistakes, it's in no judgment in any ways of having made those mistakes. It's rather seeing someone else who has something that you want and asking them, how did you get that? What things in your life allowed you to have those things? What things did you learn? And learning from other people's mistakes. Because if you want a kind of relationship that you've never experienced, how are you supposed to build that without guidance? Seeking guidance and wisdom in this area will help you to build that kind of relationship, even if it's a relationship you've never experienced before. Many people get caught in the same routines and have the same kind of relationships that their parents had because they never took this extra step and this extra process to learn about relationships from people who know how to have them. And they don't learn from other people's mistakes. They make the same mistakes as their parents and their grandparents because they honestly don't know better and they don't seek to know better. They stay in that small box of what's comfortable and they don't look outside of the box for wisdom so they can grow and to have the kind of relationship that they genuinely want. Right. Subject number 3 is financial well-being. I don't care if you grew up with no money or you grew up with all the money, you must learn about finances. Because if you grew up with no money and once you get money, you don't know what to do with it, you're going to keep having no money. You're going to have the paycheck to paycheck lifestyle and you're not going to be able to save for the future or save for other things that you want in life. And if you grew up with all the money and you don't know how to take care of your finances, you just trust somebody else to take care of it for you. If you put that false trust into somebody else to handle your finances and they mess things up, you didn't take the responsibility upon yourself to make sure you knew what was happening with your own money and you lost it. You will find stories of people who had everything and lost it because of mistrust in somebody who they shouldn't have trusted. And you will find stories of people who are just regular working people who knew how to take care of their money and made their money work for them and they ended up being a millionaire. It happens, but you have to educate yourself with it. Don't think just because you're in a certain tax bracket that it's an impossibility and that you are not able to educate yourself and learn about how to handle things. Because if you learn how to handle what you can with the little bit that you have, as you slowly learn and grow and develop yourself as a person, you earn more, you will see the growth exponentially. You have to take responsibility of this yourself because quite frankly, no one is going to teach you unless you come from a really financially adept family. But even many financially adept families who have very financially savvy parents don't tell their kids it, which shame on them. Teach your kids about finances. It's worth noting that neither the government or businesses really want you to be financially savvy because if you have your own knowledge, then you won't be dependent on them anymore. You will not be swayed by advertising. You will not be swayed by political advertising as to why they can help you out. You will actually know how to handle your finances. You will know how to make your own money, and you won't be depending on a credit card to make you seem fake rich, or a lease to make you seem fake rich, or a personal loan to make you seem fake rich, which will all deplete your funds and you lose on the little money that you already had. When you become more financially independent and you take ownership of learning how to handle money by taking small steps, learning how to save and learning how to manage your finances, you will grow. It may start to grow very slowly, but you will be amazed at the changes in your life that will take place. And subject number 4 is spiritual growth. Now, if you were like me, I grew up very much churched, and if you grew up in the church, you get to hear some experience about someone who did. I grew up very churched. I very much in church culture, and it honestly, I kind of grew in bitterness because of it, because I wasn't ever really accepted or understood. I never fit in. I wasn't really what they wanted. Guys at church never wanted to date me. I didn't get asked out. I didn't feel a part of anything. I'd offered to help in music, and I wasn't accepted for all of my high school into junior high into college. I just wasn't wanted. And I had experienced an extreme amounts of hypocrisy. And when you don't feel loved in a place that you feel like you're supposed to be loved, you come to the place of, well, why am I even trying? And then there was this really big shift in my that happened in my life where I went through a phase of extreme spiritual darkness. I felt very attacked to the point where I hated myself so much. I honestly wanted to die. And I was like, hey, God, I don't want to be here anymore. I'd rather be with you. And after that point, I remember him saying, Sarah, I'm not done with you yet. And in that time of healing and prayer and really trying to understand what all of this was about, I realized there is a very big difference between church culture and people who genuinely know and pursue God. And beneath a church building, you will find both people there. You go find people who hold a blanket of religiosity around them, and if you tug on it and threaten them, they will cut you out and push you away. And then you'll find people who genuinely love God and genuinely want to serve Him and take baby steps of faith of through life, seeking what He wants for their life, and they're seeking Him and they want to know Him and He wants to know them. And there's an intimacy in that. And after that point, I was like, you know what, Sarah, you have to love church people because God loves church people and God loves everybody. And you need to switch your thinking from defensive, I don't want to be hurt anymore, into proactive, how can I love this person in front of me who God loves, even when they're not acting lovable at all. And so that continual journey and growth, that spiritual growth, is something that's always in process. Anyone who knows me knows I'm anything but a perfect person. I'm a really messy person. And that's who I am. I'm not going to pretend to be someone that I'm not. I'm not going to sit and act church girl perfect anymore. I want to be authentic in the things that I don't know, but also be truthful and share the things that I do know. That's a personal thing that I've had to go through, and I don't know who you are. I don't know what your experiences has been. I don't know, maybe whether you are an atheist or you're super deeply spiritual and religious. I honestly believe that we all have our journeys that we have to go on, and you are welcome here no matter who you are or where you are on this journey. This is no judgment to people who have had different experiences and views of the world than me. I'm just being authentically who I am, and I want to share that with you all. Well, thank you so much for watching, everybody. I know this was a bit of heavier content and that everyone has had their own personal experiences with all of this. If this is the kind of subject matter that's interesting to you, subscribe and join this community where we can talk about intentional living and growing and becoming the kind of person that you always dreamed that you could be. That's what this is all about. And if you have found yourself in any of these areas, learning about yourself and growing and taking steps to build in those areas, write it down in the comments down below and we'll start a conversation about it. Thank you so much for watching, everybody, and have a great rest of your day. Bye!